Hi, welcome to IRE TV. My name is Deniz Yusuf from Inspired Growth Training, and what we're going to be training about today is how to build trust and win the business faster. You know, trust is one of the toughest things to do in real estate because already real estate agents are perceived as a non-trusting career. You know, we are ranked, unfortunately, as one of the lowest trustworthy careers that Australia can possibly have. So we're already on the back foot. So it's so important these days to win that trust as quickly as you can and personalize real estate back to the person, to the potential landlord. So we're going to start from when the inquiry has actually come through. So we're not talking about prospecting. So we're talking about building that trust when that phone call comes in. So the inquiry has come into the office. One of the first things that you need to be doing, and it's so important to actually catch the data of the potential client that's calling you. You need their name, you need their phone number, you need their email, and obviously the property details. And a great way of collecting this data is actually filling in your new business inquiry form. So you've obviously, if you don't have IRE BDM where you can put the details directly into the contact management system, you need to have a hard copy where you can collect that information, whether it's the person at the front desk that's taking that information, if the BDM or the person who does the listing presentation isn't there, or you actually collect the data yourself. So you've got to fill in that form. The next thing you need to do is actually ask your listening questions. You need to know why they're actually calling you. A lot of people call the real estate office because they don't know something. Obviously, if they want to have a presentation, they need to know what the rent's going to be, then that's why they're actually calling you up. So some examples of some listening questions is, great, thanks for giving our office a call. If you don't mind me asking, why? What gave you the reason to choose IRE TV Realty today? So you want to know if, obviously, if it was a salesperson that they had purchased the property off, or if it was even a friend that's got a management through you. You need to find out where that source is coming from. You know, having IRE BDM, you need to track those sources, track those leads that they're coming in, because you need to thank the potential person who referred the business to you. But you also want to go into that presentation under the same pretenses, under the same rapport that their current person is using you has got as well. Okay, the next step, one of my favorite questions to actually ask is, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, really appreciate you giving us a call today. If you don't mind me asking, what concerns do you have about renting out your home? This one to me is a winner. It's going to give you the food and the ammunition on how you're going to win the business. You know, the concerns are here. You need to know what the hot points are on how you're going to win the business. If they say, look, I'm worried that the tenant's not going to pay the rent, or I'm worried that the property's going to sit vacant, or I'm worried that the property's going to get damaged, you can then start selling your services, your points of differences around those concerns, and you're not even at the presentation yet. So be sure to ask, what concerns do you have about renting out your home? So from this point on, what you now need to do is actually send the potential landlord a calendar invitation. So you've answered their concerns and send them a calendar invite. It's just another little tap on the shoulder, something that your rivals might not be doing, and you can also send them those reminders through IRE BDM as well. So they get that as well as a calendar invite. The next stage is what you need to do is send off what we call information in relation to the conversation you've just had. If they had concerns about marketing, send them some example marketing videos. If they had concerns about rent arrears, the tenant's not paying rent, then send them some forms and some guides on that, or your boss reports on how many days a property may sit vacant for. That's when we need to send it all in what we call a pre-listing email and push your points of differences. This is when you need to throw in the uppercut against your rivals and start pushing your points of differences before you get into the presentation. These are just some simple examples, what we've got up on the screen, of some attachments that you can put in. Now, as you can see, there's quite a few attachments for you to put in, and nobody is going to read all of those attachments. But let me just bring up a couple of the points. For example, Inspect Real Estate do have a flyer that talks about the 24 online system. Have a talk to your representative and get those flyers built into your branding for your office. You know, property marketing examples, your realestate.com.au reports on average days on markets versus rivals, and some example property condition reports, or your ingoing reports, depending how you word it, because you want to highlight how strict you are on that preparation. And there's some testimonials you want to start pushing through, some Google reviews, so it gives you that credibility and show your potential landlords how strong you are online. Now, you can't obviously send it through, but what you can do, all of those attachments you can put into one PDF. Simply use Publisher, drop them all into Publisher, and then save it all as one PDF so that you're not sending too many attachments. Okay, the next thing you can also do is actually contact BMT Quantity Surveys, and they can do a pre-report for you where it's showing the clients how much money you can save them, okay, rather than about the fee that you're paying. So you can log in through their web portal and contact them about that information as well. Now, you've got your packs ready, you've sent your condition information off, you've started meeting their concerns. Now you need to put what we call together a comparable market analysis. So Inspect Real Estate has got what we call a calculator in the IRE BDM component, where it can roughly work out how many tenants they've got looking for properties in their particular areas, and then they've also got the average rents that it comes through. But speak to one of your consultants and get more information. Now, your comparable market analysis, you'll see the list that I've got there as an example, but you can also send it as a video. These are the things, these are the real points of differences that you've got. Let's have a look at this video so you can see something that you can put together to really drive that you are the market leader in your area.
Hi, I'm Shoshana McNichol from MacHall Real Estate. My role is to assist inner city investors to secure a high quality tenant and maximise the return on their investment property. Our CBD team of 5 have a combined industry experience of 65 years. Our team undertake ongoing training and use the latest technology to ensure that our service remains at the forefront of the industry. Stay with me now for an update on your property.
So the next thing for you to do now is actually send a video, an educational video, especially on those points that may have been a concern for them, or it could be something that highlights something where your office is the market leader in the area. So here's an example educational video that you could be sending those clients.
Hi, Shoshana here from Mac Hall Real Estate. As you know, we like to keep you updated on all things real estate. I'm here today with international trainer and coach Darren Hunter, and we're talking about a tragic incident that occurred in a rental property in 2015. The proposed reef floor went to WA State Parliament this week. Darren, what does that mean for our investors?
Well, up till now in Western Australia, which is typically across all other states as well, tenants have to get formal permission in writing from property managers and owners to be able to fix any furniture to walls. But the legislation that's being proposed is where tenants will now be able to affix or secure their own furniture to walls without getting written permission first. I think for owners the concern is, well, what about the rectification of that damage, when they do eventually vacate? So I think that's yet to be seen, and we can only hope that those proposals will be discussed and that will also follow legislation as well.
So Darren, does this apply to all properties?
So at this stage, there will be two kinds of properties that will not come under this legislation. That's heritage and listed properties, but also properties affected by asbestos as well, for health and safety reasons.
We will keep you updated as we know more. For more information, please feel free to give me a call. I'm Shoshana from Mac Hall Real Estate.
So now what we're doing is we're really showcasing and highlighting some of those big points of differences that your office has got. One of the great things about having those educational videos as part of your listing kit is you're showing your clients that you've got a library of videos around any concern that they've got. So a great thing that we can do now is actually drive home some points of differences. If you're doing some video marketing, why would you not want to be showcasing that? If you're not offering video marketing to your clients, are you making the decision on behalf of the owner? Certainly something that I would be looking to do, because if your sales team is doing it, you should be at least offering that to your clients as well. So the power of a pre-listing kit is phenomenal, and it's all in your hands. It's certainly about setting the client up for where do I sign when you turn up to the door. So the next stage for you now in gaining that trust are these steps. So let's just do a quick recap. So the inquiries come in, the appointment's booked, you've asked your listening questions, you've sent the calendar invitation, and then you've actually sent off your pre-listing kit. And remember, it's driving those points of differences that your office has got, because it's about setting those clients up for that wow factor of everything you're doing before you get in the door. You don't want to be talking about how many routine inspections you do or etc. You want to be going there to get the trust. Your job is to get in the door and close them, okay? They trust you already because they've asked you to come to the property. So what's next? Okay, the next step is actually simply sending them a text message. Quite simple, sending them a text. And you think that's easy, but I'm going to challenge you now. It's about sending them a video text. Some of you might now be thinking, oh no, I can't do that. But you're already on a website. They've already done their Facebook looks on you. They've checked you on the website. You've possibly got social media and you're on videos everywhere, but it's a little bit threatening to send a video to one person. Well, if you think it's scary for you, imagine how your rivals are going to be feeling when they see that you're doing it. Overcome those fears, because these strategies are working for people that I'm training and they're winning business a great deal faster. Here's 2 examples for you that you can have a look at. And these videos, you can actually have them as part of IRE BDM as well. So you can send it out as part of your notifications.
Hi, Julie here from First National Real Estate Toronto. Just a quick message to say thank you for your inquiry and the opportunity for me to provide you with information regarding our local rental market and our property management services. I'm going to be sending you an email with information attached. Please take the time to have a look over that. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to jot them down. And I look forward to chatting with you soon. Have a great day.
Hi Dennis, it's Taylor here from Rewa or Kempson, just touching base and saying thanks so much for giving me a call regarding your property. I'm really looking forward to appraising it next week. If you have any questions at all between now and then, feel free to give me a call.
So what I love about those 2 videos is the fact that the first one, it's very professionally done, but I personally like the second one a lot better because it's actually personal. It's dragging in the person's name because it's about, you know, that personal touch to them. So now you've done your video text as well. You sent it through. You're getting personal with them on levels. It's bringing personality back into real estate. So it's taking it to new levels. Now you've got to get your kit together. I've put together a list of an example of a listing kit in IRE BDM. There's also a video presentation that Andrew Reese has done for you to have a look at in there as well. So there's listing kit examples. So these is just a list here for you as an example as well. And there's a second segment there that I've got. Now, most importantly, people forget to push that as part of their training when they're at a presentation that they're speaking about that they've been at training. Please, this is being part of a training that you've listened to. So if you're at a presentation, it's okay to name drop, to say, you know, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, that's a great question that you've asked. I was just listening to an educational training video, because our office is about continued development, better for our clients, and then answer the question. Okay, there's 7 days in a week and some day isn't one of them. Please, I encourage you, put together these strategies in place so you can gain the trust and win the business faster. If anyone would like to contact me about growing their property management department or growing their rent roll, whether it's in-office training or one-on-one mentoring, please feel free to contact me. I'm Deniz Yusuf. This is IRE TV. Thanks for watching.